Hey, y'all, it's Sunday, the 31st of May. What a way to end the month. Again, I'm going to just kind of speak my thoughts because we're in a very interesting time. The protests continued nationwide and now internationally. I'm appreciative of the solidarity. It's also being shown where agent provocateurs, people who are purposely trying to sabotage these rightful protests into looting and burning and violence. They're being caught on camera and called out. Because I want to say it again, I, as a black man, am sick to death of the inherent institutional racism that I deal with. The problem is not white people. The problem is the racism that's built into our system and infects the thinking of those running it. It's not, the problem is not white-skinned people. Let's get that straight, okay? I said it on Facebook and I'll say it here. In the eyes of the ruling class, we're all niggas. We're all niggas to them. If they can't, it's not a conspiracy. There is documentation of the meetings that happened in the early 20th century amongst the rich motherfuckers who took over the banks, how they talked about and devised a plan to put the United States on a path towards the good old days, a two-class system, the ruling and the serving class. And the serving class ultimately doesn't care what color your skin is, so we're all niggas to them. And a lot of you are realizing this, and thank you for standing in solidarity. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Red lives matter. Yellow lives matter. White lives matter. We're tired of this mess. And the fact that we have no leadership coming from the president or the administration shows how quickly things have devolved into chaos. Their response to the COVID pandemic has been so poorly handled that the nation can't even keep in mind that we're dealing with it. And so we're out in the streets enraged. Power to the people and safety to the people. It's a travesty that the president is calling out the guard and talking about pulling out the army. He would rather have our blood flow in the streets than to listen to us or do anything about the inequity of the economy, about the inequity of how people are viewed. Not just black people. We're at the front of the line getting kicked in the ass from this bullshit. But notice the virus of language. See, most people are not thinking about the way that language is used. You know, it flavors your thoughts immediately. So white protesters are patriots. Black protesters and white protesters with black protesters are anarchists and looters. Really? And this is looking like the majority of the country to me. See how the manipulation is used against people, especially people who aren't very smart and easily led by the nose. I held my breath and went onto some racist social groups yesterday to see what was being said about this whole situation, and sure enough, there was not one intelligent thing being said. It was almost like hearing rabid dogs who have voices. You could almost hear the foam coming out of their mouths, just the utter hatred and senseless babbling of hate and negative emotions. Ain't nothing. There's nothing Christian about it. That's all madness for these people to call themselves Christians and good people. Jesus wouldn't have shit to do with them motherfuckers except to tell them to wake up and chill out and get right. We're hearing a lot of older people, I'm hearing because I listen to the radio, talk, we need to get back to God. We need to find spirituality, but we do not need to go back to religious, dogmatic mind control. There may have been a time when everybody was behaving. That's not the point. The point is for us to evolve. We don't need mind control. That's the problem. Okay? So that's what's on my mind today. I hope this video loads up. My camera acts weird sometimes. The speed slows down and shit. Yesterday, I spent most of the day writing and recording, preparing for this show that I'm going to do. And hopefully it doesn't get hijacked or messed up because of all this violence. But I understand it. Here's something I started last night. Let me start again. Hopefully this won't be too loud. I like to hear it loud in the room, but I don't want it to overdo the amp, the microphone. But this is what I was working on last night as I'm checking into the news. Really just using, on this one, I'm basically just using basic presets to come up with a nice beat. I tweaked them a little bit. My spirit is in good shape. Power is corrupt. That's the problem. I've been saying it for years. Not a race problem. What I'm doing is making music instead of going out in the street. But I understand. I dare anyone to leave a comment that can justify the actions of our president. That worthless scum piece of shit. He does not represent the American people. Why are you still supporting that son of a bitch? Please tell me. Because your heart and soul is rotten too? It's the only thing I can figure at this point. The last thing that Trump is doing is making America great again. He drained the swamp all right so that we could see down where he's at, below the fucking swamp. okay, people, let's hang together. Show some love. If you're protesting, please be careful. I know that if I were to go out into the streets, I would go out and then I'd leave quick because there's going to be more protests and there's going to be more violence. Unfortunately, I understand the frustration, but it's like, if I understand the frustration. If you won't fix it, burn it to the ground. But the thing is, if we burn everything to the ground, then we're all really, really fucked. We need to get their attention and some response. The ruling class is showing that they have no intention of responding, that they will kill us, that they will let our blood flow in the streets first. So that's why I'm out of it. People need to get organized, but it's almost impossible now because of the low level of intelligence and the way that politics has splintered everyone. It's worked too well. We do need to organize as large groups. It's almost impossible now because of those things. Maybe some people can find a way to get that going again, because we need to organize, to actually get something to change. Things do need to change. And usually what happens is you destroy something in order to rebuild it. But as much as we're suffering now, if we burn everything down, it'll just be wholesale chaos and misery. And if you ask me, that is exactly where we're headed. Because the ruling class have no intention of listening to us. They don't care. They don't. That's what I have to say on this Sunday.